Yali Madat, everyone, and a very good morning. On behalf of Aga Khan Economic Planning Board for India and its Ismaili Professionals Network portfolio, I extend a warm welcome on the Sunday morning to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us on the Sunday morning. As we know, this is the second session of Get Job Ready series. While in the first session, we focused on new careers, what are the opportunities for 2021, this session focuses on two very important milestones that anyone needs to cross, even with the best of profile and qualification. While it sounds very simple, but a good or bad resume or interview can make or break that dream job. To take us through this journey, we have with us our very own Nasru Panjwani. Nasru Panjwani is a DDI certified leadership skills trainer. DDI is an international leadership development consultancy. Currently, Nasru Bhai is working as learning and development leader with DuPont for his Asia Pacific region. He has been helping around more than 7,000 individuals from 11 countries in the last 14 years to grow at work and life through leadership workshops. He has visited eminent business schools like IBS, IMT, and Indian School of Business as a guest speaker. As he very passionately says, he is a father of a whiz kid and an angel who looks extremely very pretty little girl and a husband of a superwoman who inspires him every day. So I will not come in between you and this extremely eminent speaker. Hand it over to you, Nasru Bhai.
Uh, thank you so much, Baima, for that warm welcome. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Baima, for inviting me today. Thank you, Shalina. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, team. And I'm so happy to join you again today. You know, every time I get a chance to interact with our Jamaat from all over India and many places, I feel so privileged. Thank you so much. A warm welcome. So let us get to know each other. And first, I want to congratulate you all. You know, this is a Sunday morning. You could have done anything. You know, you could be spending time with your family. You could be watching web series. But you chose to be here. And you know what it shows? It shows that you are a lifelong learner. So are you a lifelong learner? Type LLL in the chat box. Are you a lifelong learner? Type LLL in the chat box. And what I'll request you to do is change your chat settings to everybody so that, you know, everybody can see each other's messages. Currently, the chat settings are to host and panelists, so only we see your messages. Wow, I can see like tons and tons of messages on the chat window. Yes, lifelong learner. And I acknowledge that about you. I acknowledge that about you. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, so let's get to know each other. So I'm right now based out of Hyderabad. So where are you from? Which city are you from? Quickly type in the chat box. Which city are you from? Okay, Gulzar, welcome. Gulzar is from Mumbai. We have so many people from Hyderabad, Rajkot, Surat, Pune. Wow, the chat box is going faster than even I can read. I can see Bhavnagar, Afghanistan, Jamnagar, Ankleshwar, Virar, Palghar, Bhavnagar, Delhi, Pusad. Wow. Okay. Wow. I'm so privileged to connect with you all today. We can see somebody from Bangalore, Kabul, Rajkot, Nanded, Hyderabad, Baroda. Thank you. So awesome to see you all. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Okay. Thank you, Rahmat Baima. Thank you, Ronak. Thank you. Okay, so also, would you like to type in the chat box? What are you? Are you a student? Are you into business? Or are you self-employed? Or probably you could be a homemaker. So you can write S, student, business, self-employed, homemaker. You can just write the short form as well. Wow, I can see different people, LLB students. Many people are students. Somebody is into a job. Awesome. Yeah, are you a student? Are you into a job? Are you homemaker? Are you business owner? Are you self-employed? Okay, great. I can see so many students, some homemakers, many people in the job. Somebody is looking for a job. Nina is a trainer. Good to see you, Nina. Ronak is looking for a job. Awesome, Ronak. I wish you all the best. Yes, Abdul looking for a job. Rahmat Baima saying she is an online faculty. Awesome. Great to see you. Great to see you. Great to see all that. Awesome. So we are connected, and we will stay connected today for the at least 90 minutes. And like Shalina Baima said, we will also talk about, we are getting, this is one part of the entire series that you saw the video, and that also what Baima was talking about. It's an entire series, and this is just one part of it. Once again, a warm welcome. And what are we going to do today? Today, we're going to go into how to curate an impactful resume, how to strike a right conversation. And if you are looking for a job, whether you are currently doing a job or you're looking for a job, how to find and how to be found. So these are the three things we will try to do today in the next 90 minutes. And I want to assure you, like I always do, it is going to be a conversation. We will talk a lot, and I'll request you to keep typing on the chat window. We will also try to take questions at regular intervals, and it will be a conversation. It is not that I have some 50 slides and I'm going to take you through that. No. Okay. It's going to be a conversation. So we'll be together for at least next 90 minutes, and we'll also have some fun. How many people are ready to have some fun? Type fun in the chat box. How many people are ready to have some fun? Type fun in the chat box. We will also have some fun on the Sunday morning. How many people are ready? Okay, I can see people are ready to have some fun. Okay, one more last question. How many people like gifts? We have some gifts for you today. Type gifts in the chat box. Only people who type gifts will get gifts. We are monitoring the names. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Wow. Okay, gifts. Yeah, we have some gifts. We have some hacks. Okay. So what will we do is we will be showing a secret code, and we will be showing a 4-digit secret code. Okay. And at any point of the time during the next 90 minutes, we will give you one digit. So secret could be 2597 or 4935, whatever. But we'll be showing one digit at a time. And at the end of the session, people who give us the entire secret code, we will give you some hacks, we will give you some gifts. Okay, so stay throughout the session. Don't miss the secret code. Don't miss the digits. Is everybody okay? So let us start. And here comes the first secret code. Oh my God, it's already here. The first secret code is 0. Okay, so please remember this. We will be giving you more secret codes throughout the entire session. The first secret code is 0. All right. So let us start. I think people are all charged up. I am charged up. I am happy to see you all. Let us start. So how to curate an impactful resume? I'm sure this is not the first time you have heard this word. I'm sure you have come across this. You have prepared a resume. I mean, it is no secret, but today we'll go a little more deeper in this, right? So what happens? Anytime there is a job opening, a recruiter takes less than 30 seconds. If you go to Naukri, you can see how many people are applied for each job. Hundreds of people are applying. So your resume are only getting 30 seconds. Second point, 41% of HR managers see if the resume is customized to JD. Now, what is a JD? Please type in the chat box, what is a JD? What is the full form of a JD? Let me see. Okay. JD is job description. Awesome. Thank you, Zen. Thank you, Asim. Thank you, Shamir. Thank you, Noshin. Thank you. Yes, JD is job description, right? It's no secret. Now, this is my biggest tip, friends. I'm sure you might be doing it. So let me ask you one more time. How many of us, when we apply for a job, how many of us go through the JD and read the JD carefully? Type C in the chat box if you read the entire JD carefully. Okay, if you don't do it, then yeah, you should. I should. Yeah, you should. You should read the entire JD carefully. Honestly, you will get so many insights how to curate your resume in the job description. And today I'll give you that secret hack. I mean, people might be already using it, but the entire key is in the job description. Okay, and it is important to customize your JD with the job description. Let's go to the next point. Also, keep your resume authentic. Sometimes there is an oversight. I know we don't do it on purpose, but keep your resume authentic. There should not be any falsification. And hiring managers are very smart. Just by seeing the resume, they can come to know something is fishy over here. Spelling errors is a big no-no. And as you know, More than 75%, I would say more than 75% candidates are eliminated at the first round itself. So what do we do? What are the common things we could take care? First thing is no fancy fonts. We know that. Your picture has to be very professional. Contact details should be there. Email IDs has to be very, very professional. Best thing is to put your name as an email ID. Like my name is Nasru Panjwani, so Nasru.Panjwani. That's the best email ID we could give. Skills and accomplishment, avoid overkill. It is good to give numbers, but bragging or using very exclamatory adjectives is an overkill. This is one question that so many people have. What if there are gaps? What if I had to take a sabbatical? What if there was some personal problem that I had to take 6 months off? It happens with so many people. And I want to tell you, my dear friends, it is not a crime. If you took a break in between, you have not done anything wrong. And hiring managers understand it. And you could actually, during an interview, they might ask you that, there is a gap in just be honest, there was a personal thing, but do not try to hide it. If there was a gap, there is a gap. That's all. It is not a crime that there is a gap in your career path. There could be multiple reasons. Somebody took a quick break because they wanted to spend time as mothers with their family. Somebody took a quick break because their family needed it. It has happened with me as well. I had to take almost 9-month break because my family, my father had needed me. So I had to take a 6 to 9 month break. It happens with so many people. So don't worry about that. Like I said, spelling mistake, confidential info. This is really, really important. Now, this is one other factor. Your resume should be machine readable. No organization goes through each resume by a human being. They actually, there is a system called ATS. It should be machine readable. So what are the machine readable formats? Probably Word and PDF. Your resume should not be mostly on other formats. Word and PDF are the best format because they are machine readable. Keep it short. Like I said, there is a trend now to have 1-page resume, and we will try to do that. Only 1-page resume with some infographics, with some good highlights. Also keep refreshing your resume every 6 months, every 1 year. Customize your resume related to the job. Use some keywords in the resume. So my quick question to you is, where will you find these keywords? Very nice. I can see that. Okay, interesting. Where will you find the keywords? Absolutely superb. Gulzar, superb. Amin, Yasmin, Rahmat, Syed, awesome. The keywords are not on Google. These keywords are in your in the job description. That is why job description is like a gold mine. If you go through the job description very, very well, pick up the keywords which are relevant and honest for you, use the same keywords. For example, you might be applying for a sales position or a software engineer position. What are the skills they are looking for? They might be looking for a person who is good at collaboration. And if you are good at collaboration, pick it up and put it in your resume and give an example. This could be a finance job, and you should be good with analysis. The job description says that we are looking for somebody who has great analytical skills. Pick it up and put it in your resume. If it is there, right? If you are good at analysis, okay? So job description is like a gold mine, and that is how you can customize, and also you can find the keywords in the job description. Super, 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 awesome. Infographics also. Infographics could be very, very challenging, but today I will give you a very simple hack which could sort out that infographic problem. Okay, I can see one question by Ronak. What if we haven't worked before? Great question, Ronak. What if you haven't worked before? Still, some of the skills could be matching with the job description, or else why are you applying for that job? There should be some similarity, right? So when you read a job description, you will find, yeah, this is the right job for me, and I am the right job. I am the right person for this job. I have this educational qualification. I have this right approach. I have certain behavioral skills, and highlight that. So I understand if you have not worked before, but try to customize your resume with the job description, what is true for you. I hope, Ronak, that helps you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, Karishma is asking, what is self-referencing? Referencing, how to highlight references. Okay, self-referencing is, so, there was days where we used to get reference from somebody, right? Now those are not the days. Okay, so you could actually avoid that. Self-referencing is speaking speaking for yourself. Okay, and how authentically that you do that's all it is about. So gone are the days where you wanted reference from somebody, but if they ask you, then could it be an authentic referencing? And many times they will also check about it in the job interview. Karishma is saying, will we get a copy of this presentation or should we make notes? Karishma, you can make notes and you will get also a copy, but I would suggest you to make notes if you because it helps, when you write, that your brain registers. Let's have a look at a resume. Okay, let's do some work together. Here we go. All right, so this is a sample resume. It is not a real resume, it's a sample resume. Yes, Gulzar, I will be sharing a great hack which will solve your infographic problem. Yeah, I'll come on that, Gulzar. Thank you. So let me quickly ask to everybody who is there on this call today, how is this resume? Out of 10, how many marks will you give it? So this is the second part. Yeah, people are saying 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, old fashioned. Yeah. How is this resume? Okay, half mark. Okay, all right. Okay, can you highlight one thing that could be improved in this? Okay, font could be improved. Awesome. Red mark error, font more attractive. Awesome. No need for address. Absolutely no need for address. Email ID is good. Infographic, Afreen, thank you. Yes, we can put a lot of infographic. And Gulzar, you're asking about infographic. We will talk about it. Layout, absolutely. Renal layout can be changed. Spacing can be improved. Date of birth not needed. Okay, probably people are curious to know your age, so date of birth. If you're comfortable, you can put it, but it is not mandatory, right? It's a personal information. Detailing on a short way could be more shorter. Consistency in decimal percentage. Yeah, I think you guys have a really fine eye. I really like that. I really like that. Awesome. Very nice. But I want to tell you something. The main part which is missing in the resume is skill to be added. Yeah. Navroz, this is a fresher, so that's why there is no experience. Okay. But trust me. And Ronak asked, what if I'm working for the first time? I'm not worked before, and there are so many students right today, and that is why I have a resume of a person who is actually never worked before. He or she doesn't have a job experience. So I like to answer Ronak's question. Even if you do not have like a full-time experience, you can put, even if you have done a voluntary work, even that is an experience. Even if you've done internship, even that is an experience. So experience doesn't mean only full-time job experience. Any kind of experience could be a 2-month experience, could be internship, could be worked on a project, could be you a part of a certain committee as a volunteer within our community or outside community. Everything can count as an experience. Strength and weakness. Okay. Now, let me ask you the biggest question over here, which is usually missed. Riyaz is very good. Yeah, Riyaz, objective is missing. Awesome, Riyaz. Applause. Objective is missing. Yes. That is the main point. You're not able to understand what is this person applying for. What is actually the main purpose of this job? The objective is missing. And this is commonly missed. Either it is missed or not written well. So any good resume, and like I told you, right, people only give 30 seconds. They don't read everything. They only give few seconds to your resume. And the first, the eyeball, the header and the job objective, which is in the beginning, that is what catches the eyeball. The header catches the biggest info, the attention. If your header is very good, they might go through the resume. If the header is not good, they'll not even look at the resume. And job objective. Thank you, Riyaz. Thank you so much for that. This is the most ignored aspect of a resume. The most ignored, even by experienced professionals. So let us play one game. Okay, everybody, let's play a game. Everybody ready for a game? Type game in the chat box. Awesome. Okay, nice. So so we'll play a game of how to write a good job objective statement. Okay, everybody ready? Thank you. Yes, let's play a small game on how to write a good objective statement. So I will show you some objective statements and you tell me if it is good or not good. Okay, so let's go with the first one. Gulzar, Asma, many people are saying not good. Navroz, thank you. Sahil, not good. Okay, used oftenly. Absolutely. Asma, absolutely. The reason it is not good, it is used oftenly. It looks like copy pasted from somewhere, just picked up from Google. It is not customized. Does it talk about you? No, because it is very, very generic. Okay, this is not good. Okay, let me ask you the second one. The second one, is it good or not good? Okay, Rosina is saying good. Asma is saying not good. Akbar is saying good. Karishma is saying generic. Gulzar is saying good. Okay, yeah, now we are 50-50. Shaina is saying good. Okay, many people are saying good, good, good. Okay, somebody saying okay, okay. All right, yeah. This is also not good, friends. This is also not good because it only talks about what you are looking for. It doesn't talk about what you are bringing to the table. It is important to talk both sides, what you are looking for. So it is very clear that to work with a reputed organization where I can explore and grow in HR field. Okay, so now you know this is an HR person. The first one is completely generic. You don't even know who is this person. Is this person a software person? Is this person a finance person? Is this person an HR person? Nothing is written in the first resume, first objective statement. Okay. The second one says HR person, but what do they bring to the table? That is not written. So this is not good, not so good. It will still not help. Let me show you the third one, and then you will realize what is a good objective statement. What do you think of the third one? Read it very carefully. The third one says, seeking mid-level sales position. Can you see, so specific, where I can utilize my knowledge, relationship management, creating new accounts, maintain customer. Can you see, it talks about everything, direction, capabilities, what I'm looking for, what I have to offer. If a hiring manager has a position in sales, if they see this, they will read the resume. They will give more than 30 seconds to the resume, what is needed. So thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, thank you. Relevant. Absolutely, Asma. It is relevant. Somehow to the point. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Nurwan Obaima. Thank you. Zain, thank you. Yes, awesome observation. Thank you. Now, somebody may ask, what if I am a new person? What do I write? Which position? You can say, I am a fresher. I'm looking for a entry-level position. I'm looking to kickstart my career in your organization. So don't worry. Whatever it is, you can write. You don't have to shy. If you are a student, if you are a first time, applying for the first time, you can write that. I'm looking to kickstart my career with your organization. And I have skills in accounting. I have skills in data science. Write that. Thank you so much for your engagement. Now let us go to a good resume. Okay, let us go to a good resume, and then we will go to a hack. And so many people are students today, and that is why I'm showing this resume. This is actually a resume of somebody applying as a fresher. And I want you to have a good look. What are one or two good takeaway from this resume? I'm this can be improved further, and I will go there as well. But what are one or two good takeaways from this resume? What do you notice here? Objective, very nice. Zain is saying it is professional, right? The professional profile, absolutely. Trust me, friends, this is what hiring managers are looking for. They are looking for the objective statement, and they're looking for the profile. Only then they go a little deeper in your resume. Internship is mentioned. Very nice observation, Nikhar. Very nice. Thank you, Asim. Great observation. Thank you, Gulzar. Yes, thank you, Adil. Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you. Thank you. So the first two parts are really, really important. Your objective statement and a little bit of your background, your professional profile. And even a fresher can do it. And this is a great example of how a freshers can also do it. And if you are already experienced, you can change this and put your experience over here. So if you're an experienced person, you can say seeking mid-level position or junior level position or a senior level position or leadership position. This is my professional profile. I have 7 years of work experience or 3 years of work experience. I have internship experience. This is my background. You can write everything over there. Even any part-time assignments. What are your passion? What are your values? Everything can be mentioned over there. Absolutely, Nurbanu. Mention all details. Your study, your internship. Superb. Great comment on the chat. Thank you. Absolutely, Sarah. Qualification, skills connected to the position. Superb observation, Sarah. Superb. I am so happy the way you are connecting today morning. I'm so happy. Now let us see how to make it possible. Would you like to write such a resume in 30 minutes? Less than 30 minutes. Do you think it is possible to write such a resume in less than 30 minutes? If it is possible, type P in the chat box. I will give you a hack. You can write a very professional resume with infographics in 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes. It's possible. Okay, yes, it's possible. Okay, so let's go there. Awesome, awesome. I can see the excitement. I can see the excitement. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let us go there. Let us go to the hack. So this is my first hack. And many people may have heard about this before. Canva is an online tool which already has so many professional templates with infographics. Infographics, you know, are visual representation. It could show your career journey. It could show some of your achievements in a very, very visual way. Ready-made templates, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Riaz. Yes, it's a very famous application, Sarah. It is very nice application even for social media, for your LinkedIn, so many things. But resume is one way we can use Canva. Yeah. Thank you, Nafis. Good one. Yeah, Canva is a great, great way. So let us quickly go to Canva. People who have not used Canva. Asma is saying, can we make using Photoshop? Asma, that will be very, 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 very tedious. Very tedious. Tanvi, you can use for resume as well. Yeah, Photoshop is very time consuming. So let me quickly, Asma, let me show you, and that is how you'll see the power of Canva. So it is called canva.com, C-A-N-V-A, canva.com. So this is the landing page. And when you come here, there is a search option. Canva is too vast. What do you want to do? You can just say, I want to resume. What kind of resume you want? Okay, I want a college resume, a corporate resume, a professional resume, a simple resume. Okay, let's go to a corporate resume. Or you can also select a professional resume. Okay, any. There are so many, hundreds of free templates, guys. Hundreds of free templates. Here we go. Ready-made templates. You can pick up any template that you like. No need to go to Photoshop. You can pick up any template you like. So, okay, let me pick up one template. Okay, any one template. And can you see all resumes are one page? No need to go to 3, 4, 5 pages. All resumes are one page. They are customized. Awesome. Okay, let us pick one. Okay, any this template. Okay, so now what you do is, this is the template. Just change your photograph, delete, put your photograph. You can upload photograph from here. You can just put your information over here. That's it. This is a ready-made resume. Just put your information. Okay, so my name is Nasru Panjwani. I am a mid-level HR professional, or I'm just a HR professional. I'm actually a L&D professional. So I'm a learning and development leader or a professional. Put your work experience, put your education, put your previous education, your details, your achievements, your personal background. Done. Less than 30 minutes. You can go through some of the profiles and you can select the one you want. You can also filter, and you can, if you want a college resume or a student resume or a corporate resume, there are so many. And there are some paid options, but there are tons of free options as well. So you can go with anything you like. Less than 30 minutes, a good resume with, which is just one page. Okay. So friends, did you like Canva? If you like Canva, type Canva in the chat box. Okay, quick questions. Is it safe to use personal information? Okay, put Canva. Okay, all right. Okay, great. Thank you. I'll quickly take some questions. Canva is amazing. Yes, Canva is amazing, even for your social media. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, so I could see a question. 1 second, let me go to a couple of questions which have come up. Yeah, the question is about photograph. Is photograph important? I think photograph is important, but it is not necessary. It is up to your comfort level. But photograph does help. It always helps to have a picture to the text. I always put photograph on my resume. So, but I leave it to you. If you're comfortable, put photograph. Samir, Rumiza, photograph can help. And put a professional photograph, not photograph from your social media. I'm sure you know that. Put a professional photograph. In the next session, friends, we will actually also show you how to put a professional photograph. So I hope you're joining on 26th, which is for LinkedIn session, how to create a professional profile. We will give you a hack, how to put a professional photograph. Okay, all right. Gulzar is asking, is it safe to use and put personal information? Gulzar, so the resume that you create will not be shared with other people. It will remain in your account. So Canva has an account. You can create an account. It will remain in your account. It will not be shared with other people, but you can go through their policy, and you can go through their privacy policy. And as per your comfort, you can put it, but it stays in your account. Your resume doesn't share with other account. And quickly, the resumes that we saw were not real resume. They were not real people. There were only templates. So imagine if you, Gulzar, create a resume on Canva, people will not see Gulzar Pirani. Don't worry about that. And the resumes that we saw were not real people. They were only templates. So I hope it answers your question, Gulzar. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shahnaz. My pleasure. In fact, that is my way of connecting to everybody. All right. Thank you. Let's move ahead. So we look forward to seeing you on 26th also for the professional photograph thing. All right. Now let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Absolutely, Anisha. You can keep editing how many times you want. Great, Anisha. Thank you for adding that. Thank you for adding that. You can keep editing how many times you want. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, let us take a couple of quick questions. Nikhar is asking which resume looks authentic, which color, black or white? Okay, good question. Honestly, friends, I am a colorblind person. Okay, but I'm not really good with colors. But Nikhar, you can pick up a resume template which is not bright, absolutely Zain, which doesn't have very loud colors, which has kind of a soft colors, but it doesn't have to be black and white. You can pick up colors like light blue, some pastel colors. You can pick up colors that you like. It could have certain elements in the back, and depends on your profile as well. Let's say you are an image consultant. It could be a little bright. Yeah, it should look pleasant. Absolutely, Rahmat. Depending on your profile. There are people who are fashion designers. Let's say if you are a fashion designer, then you can use bright colors. If you are a social media marketer, you can use bright colors over there. So it depends on what is your profile. So especially fashion designers, social media marketers, people who are in the public domain, image consultants, they use very bright colors. I mean, they use very, very appealing. But if you are in a strictly corporate job, then yeah, you could use a little light colors. I hope that helps you. Thank you, everybody, for your inputs on the chat window. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Nice question, Anisha. Anisha is saying, does participation in different competitions come under experience, achievement for that matter? Absolutely, Anisha. It does come under achievement. No, regardless of you won or not, regardless of you won that project or competition or the gig, it doesn't matter. You participated, and it will really matter if that participation is, that project is aligned with your overall profile and what you're applying for. So for example, you are into robotics and you are applying for a similar job, and you participated in a robotics fair where you made a robot with some of your friends. Matters a lot. Even that participation matters a lot. Okay, Riaz is saying, our tech skills rating scale mandatory to put in resume. Our tech skills rating scale mandated to put in a resume. Anything that helps you gain credibility, Riaz, put it. This is a great question from Riaz. And not just this. What is a resume? It's all about credibility. I am the best person for the job. Anything that you feel will add to the credibility, which is authentic, put it. There is no harm in doing that. No shame in doing that. Thank you, Riaz, for asking. What about extra courses done besides computer knowledge? Which heading it comes under? Yeah, great question, Junaid Thobani, great question. Any additional courses, any online courses, you attended some conference, especially law, we have tons of online courses. It will come under, you can put as under formal education. So you can talk about, yeah, absolutely, Navroz, Coursera courses, or there are so many online courses that is called MOOC, massive online open courses. There are LinkedIn Learning as well. You can put under online learning, right? So these are the additional courses that I did. But one quick tip, Junaid, you may have attended 20 courses. Don't put all. Put those courses which are relevant to the job you're applying. Because these days, we attend so many courses. Okay, Junaid, you're saying like share market courses. Good point. If it is aligned to the job, even indirectly put it. But if it is vaguely not aligned, you can skip it. But you can always put it as a, or if you're doing something as a hobby and passion, you can put it, no problem. Yeah, Gulzar, of course, I understand what is a watermark. I was trying to understand the intent behind watermarking. Is the intent to make the resume look, okay, this is my resume, okay? Probably yes, I have never seen it earlier, so maybe my bad, that is my learning, okay? Rahmat is saying, in this age of robotic, does accommodation have a great scope? Absolutely, Rahmat. Who made that robotic guy, or who made that robotic engineer or robotic engineer? Some accommodation, some teacher, some professor. So teaching is going to be a mother of all skills, Rahmat. Never forget that. Teaching is going to be a mother of all skills. Okay. Okay, Gulzar is saying sometimes the email ID or contact details are seen on resume as watermarks. Okay, interesting. This is something like maybe I've never come across that. Okay, final question. Suppose I've done a course online for institution and I've received certificates from that course, then I add those as well. Absolutely, absolutely, Anisha. You need not add it to the resume, but you can mention it in the resume. Okay, you need not put it in the resume, or else your resume will become very long, but you can mention it in the resume. I completed this so-and-so course, this certification from so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. Okay, all right, great, great, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, let's move ahead to how to handle interviews. And one of the questions which came up was how to not make it casual. Probably let us start with how to prepare yourself for an interview. So considering we all tweaked our resume and we got that call, what to do? So quick tips, how can we handle before the interview? First is, please read the job description. Please read the job description, research about the organization, also about the hiring manager. You know, LinkedIn is very, very helpful these days. You can come to know who is the hiring manager through LinkedIn, and I will share the hack. Behavioral competencies are very important. How many of us know what are behavioral competencies? Type me in the chat box. Do you know what are behavioral competencies? If you know, type me in the chat box. Okay, good. Yes. Behavioral competencies are actually softer aspects of the job. Sure, Basira, I'll quickly share. Behavioral competencies are softer aspects of the job. For example, let's say I may be a software engineer, but I'm good in collaboration. Collaboration is a behavioral competency. I am a problem solver. I am a good listener. I am a good team player. I can manage my stress well. These are all behavioral competencies. So I may be a great coder, but if I cannot collaborate, probably I will not get hired. If the hiring manager sees you may be a great coder, so those are behavioral competencies, the softer aspects. How to tailor an impressive introduction? We will come there, Abdul. Sure. Okay. So very quick question, friends. How will you know which behavioral competencies are expected in the job? From where will you come to know that in this job, XYZ behavioral competencies are needed? Quick question. High five to Sahil. Bang on. Yes, JD. Even in the JD, behavioral competencies are written. Bang on. Awesome. Understand the JD. Yes, I mean, yes. And trust me, friends, it will seal the deal. Many people will have the qualification, many people will have the experience, or many people will have the degree, but everybody does not have behavioral competencies, because they are life skills. They are not taught in any institute. They are who they are. So if I am a good collaborator, that is who I am. It is not taught anywhere. That is why they seal the deal. So when you go to the JD, also look for behavioral competencies. Awesome. Let's move ahead. Of course, we know treat everyone well as you are being watched. Even in an online interview, be very mindful. And today we will do some mock interview. So during the interview, sound confident, sound candid. Authenticity is very important. If you do not know an answer, say, I don't know the answer. If you are not authentic, the interviewer will immediately come to know. If I'm not authentic, friends, you will come to know. Also, one very common mistake that many of us do, even experienced professional, is they don't allow the interviewer to complete the question. Let me repeat. let's say you are an interviewer, I am an interviewee. I should allow you to complete the question. Sometimes we are so excited, we don't allow the interviewer to complete the question, and that will be noted. And that will be noted under behavioral competency. Yeah, you have to be a very good listener. And sometimes if you do not understand the question well, you may be totally off track. So understand the question well. And if you did not understand the question, actually ask. No shame in asking, could you repeat your question? Or could you elaborate your question? Or could you explain me this question a little bit? I could not understand it. Make sure you understand the question and then you reply. Absolutely, Abdul Bashir, superb. Knowing the question is half the answer. High five to Abdul Bashir. High five from my side. Understanding the question, knowing the question is half the answer. Superb. Very well said. Nikhar, I will explain behavioral competencies. We will come there. Awesome. Thank you. I'll do that. I'll give some more examples. How to introduce ourselves. Asma, we will come there. We will come there. Show you you are a human. You know, even if you do not understand a question, you are a human, right? You can ask, I did not understand a question. It is okay to drop a ball. If you don't know the answer, say, I don't know the answer. In fact, you will look more authentic. You need not answer everything. Zain is asking, what if one forget the answer of a common question? Is it okay to say no? Maybe of nervousness or genuinely forget. Yeah, Zain, it is okay. You can, and I'll tell you how to put it, Zain. For some reason, you can say, for some reason, I'm not able to recollect it now. I'm sorry, for some reason, I'm not able to recollect. It's okay, Zain. And this is the big thing. Don't talk negative about the last or the current job. You know, they will try to see how is your approach, how is your attitude. And this is a good example of a behavioral competency. Nikhar was asking, this is a good example of a behavioral competency, how positive person you are. Yes, then it will sound okay. You are human, it is okay to forget something sometimes. Trust me, Zain, just if you don't answer one question, it does not mean they will reject you as a person. You don't have to be perfect. It's not that every answer should be answered perfectly. No. You can miss something. It's okay. And then your nervousness will go down if you go as a human, not trying to be perfect. Then you will not feel so nervous. You feel nervous only if you try to be perfect 100%, then you feel nervous. So don't worry about that, Zain. Okay, great. Absolutely, Shaina. Very nice input. You have to be truthful, not perfect. Superb, superb, superb. Thank you, Shadik. Thank you. Yeah, be rational in the interview. So sell yourself back with numbers. You know, sometimes we write so many flowery things about ourselves, but there are no numbers. If possible, put numbers over there. And this is another tip, friends. Ask questions. Majority of the interviewer will ask you, do you have questions for me? Majority of the interviewer asks you in the end, you know, when I take an interview, that is my first question. Do you have questions for me? Have you read the JD? So what kind of question to be asked? Imagine the interviewer says, do you have a question for me? Yeah, let me take 1 minute and elaborate. Then, luckily there is no, hacks are not applicable everywhere and should not be applicable. Okay. Hacks are only applicable to tools, but not a human. There is no hack for a human being. What questions can you ask to the interviewer? You can ask questions about JD, that there is a certain part of the JD you did not understand. Can you elaborate? Can you give me a little bit more detail about my role? So for example, you're applying for a data analyst role. You're applying for a accountant role. It is very generically written over there. Okay, you can ask, I went through the JD, but I have this question on the JD. Or can you share a little bit more about my role? Or where is this team based out of? Who will I be reporting to? You can ask a little bit more about the job. Don't ask, when will I get my first promotion? Okay. Or when will I get my, when do we get salary increase? Okay, not those questions. Ask questions about the job. And that is a very impressive thing. It will show them that you are really interested in that job. You are giving 100% in understanding the job. So let's go to the last one. Finally, after the interview, okay, Ali Raza is saying, can we ask what are my mistakes during the interview? Ali Raza, not a best question. Most of the interviewers will not give you feedback in the interview. They will not give you feedback. They will only take the interview and just say thank you. So not the best question. Okay, ask about the job. That's the best question. Aliza, good question. What we answer when they say expected salary? The best answer is, whatever your current salary is, you can expect a percentage hike. I want a 30, 40, 50% percentage hike. That's the best answer. That's the most common answer. Can we ask, is it a target-based job or a work deadline? Junaid, okay, interesting question. Ronak, never say as per company norms. Ronak, never say as per company norms. That means you will take whatever the company will give you. Then they will give you the minimum. They will offer you the minimum. It means you are ready to take anything. No, you should have a specific number. I expect 20% raise on my current salary, or I expect so much XYZ salary. Yeah, what about if we are a fresher? Great, Asif. You can say, I am a fresher. What is a good salary I can expect for this role? I'm a fresher. I do not have, a salary hike. What is a good salary I can expect? Ask a question back to them. No harm in doing that. Anisha is saying, should we look desperate to get that particular job during the interview? Absolutely not, Anisha. But you should look interested. You should look excited, but not desperate. Okay, Riaz is asking how experienced candidates should negotiate for salary hike in HR rounds. Okay, this is a very, 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 very important question. How experienced candidates should negotiate for salary hike in HR rounds. Riaz, especially with experienced candidate, they don't rush into that. So even you don't rush into that. They, the not so good part in India is they always ask the candidate, what is the hike you expect? But they never share their budget. Actually, which is not the best way. They ask you. So keep a range in mind that this is the range you expect. Let's say you expect 30 or 40 or 50% hike. Keep that range in mind. And they also know that you have a range in mind. They know that you have a range in mind. If you say 40%, they know that you may negotiate a little bit over there. And don't rush into that. And don't take the first offer. This is the common mistake that I also make as an experienced candidate. Don't just take the first offer. Even they have a range in mind. They start with the minimum, and they will, during the negotiation, they will move here and there. Okay, so it's keep it very balanced and don't rush into it. That was my suggestion. Okay, somebody quickly asked this: if you do not have a job, yes, Bashir, even if you do not have a job, you should not look desperate, but you should look excited. You should look interested. You should look passionate about that job. You can share that this is a very good job for me. I think I can play a very good role over here. The interviewer should feel that you are matching with the job. So this question is not only for Bashir, but for everybody. You know what are interviewers trying to do? They are not trying to find out who you are as a person. They're only trying to find out one thing. This is the job, or this is the expectation from the job. Do you match it? That's all. Even if you don't get selected, that doesn't mean you are not good. That doesn't mean that. It only means you are not matching. That's all. And if you match, that's how they go ahead. So regardless of how, so no need to show your desperation. That will not land up us with the job. What will land us up in the interview is, are we matching? Okay. So I hope it helps, especially the couple of people asked me that question. I hope it helps, especially the freshers. That is why reading JD is very important. That is why knowing what are the behavioral competencies is very important. And in your answers, you should somewhere show that I am matching it. Okay. I hope Bashir and a couple of other people help answer this question. Okay, thanks. Sahil, we will come there. We will do one quick role play and we will come there. Let us now move ahead. Let us see what is in store next. Okay, after the interview, can we drop a thank you note? Yes, you can draw a thank you note after the interview, but don't follow up aggressively. many times, many times you may not hear from a company in India, especially if you don't get an answer, that means you are rejected. Shadik, very nice. They assess what you are today and what you can do in the future. Absolutely, Shadik. Will you work in, in this job? Are you suited? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. You can genuinely say how you felt the conversation. You can thank the interviewer and you can say, this was a nice conversation. I got to know a lot of things about your organization. And thank them for their, the way you heard me. Thank you for hearing me and allowing me to answer your questions. So genuinely just answer, how was the conversation over there? Ronak is saying, I haven't worked after my master's for 7 to 8 years. How to convince them that I'll be stable and not leave the job? Ronak, I will say, don't try to overdo it. If you show that you have this guilt in your mind, that, okay, how will they perceive? What will happen? If this thing, guilt is there in your mind, it will actually pull you down. If you are stable, they will see it. They may ask you about this, that why didn't you work for 7, 8 years? Don't try to give emotional answer over there, but authentically try to say what were you doing in a very short way. But don't go there with this guilt, or else your energy will be down and your interview will not go very well. Okay, one last question. Gulzar is saying, sometimes the JD does not match with our skills, our profile, but still can we apply? I've seen some people are hired on how they crack the interview, not on the basis of experience they carry. Absolutely, Gulzar. Many times people are not based on the past. People are hired on the basis of the future. Will you be able to work in this? That's how they are hired, not always on the past. Sometimes the JD does not match. Should we still apply? It's your choice. Are you okay to do a job that you do not want to do? Even if the skill does not match, but if the job is like something that you want to do, you can go for it. Okay, so here comes the second secret code, which is number 4. Second secret code is number 4. Okay. Now we have something interesting, but before that, I just want to give quick examples of behavioral competencies. These are some of them. There are hundreds of behavioral competencies, but there are top 33 behavioral competencies. A lot of research by behavioral organizations have said there are top 33 behavioral competencies, and some of them are interpersonal skills. How are you adaptable? Are you a problem solver? Do you collaborate well? What kind of leadership skills you have? Okay, now we said that we will have some fun. So here is the time to have some fun. How many people are ready to have some fun? Type fun in the chat box. Okay, awesome. So we will have a quick role play now, and let me invite my colleague from IPN, who is Amina, and she will help me in the role play. Amina, you can join, and let me stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, I'm with everybody.
So Amina will play as an interviewer and I will play as an interviewee.
Nasru sir, should I go ahead?
Yes, Amina, we can go ahead.
Okay. So could you tell me something about yourself, please?
Yeah, hi. First of all, I am so excited for this job. You know, this is an HR role that I was looking for. I am Nasru, and I grew up in Mumbai, and I completed my graduation from Narsi Monji. And since childhood, I was passionate about HR job. And I always wanted to be in HR. And I love reading books. I like reading psychology books. I like attending many meditations, and somewhere I feel all these things has prepared me for the HR job. Though I am a fresher, but this whole HR thing really excites me. I love working with people, and I used to participate in so many college functions. I love working with people, and I feel HR is the right platform for me. Also, I looked into your company. This is a fantastic company. This is my dream company. I would love to work for your company. And so that's about myself. Thank you.
Very nice. So in your resume, you've mentioned that problem solving is one of your core strengths. Can you give me an example of that?
Yeah, I can give you many examples, but let me give you first example. During my college fest, when I was handling a role, there was a problem. What happened was, just one day before the college fest, the organizer, who was the sponsor, who was sponsoring and was had sponsored some amount to the committee. It was an outside sponsor. They called us and told that they are not very happy with the way the fest is going. They are not happy with the way their branding is being done.
Okay.
And what happened was, we had a big meeting after that. The meeting went on till almost night 12 o'clock. And we could not understand how to convince this sponsor. And after the meeting, the next day, what happened was, we actually called the sponsor, we met the sponsor, we went to their office, but they were not willing. They were asking for returning their money. They wanted a specific hoarding, but our college principal was not ready to put the hoarding that way.
Okay.
We don't know how that communication gap happened. And somehow we were able to convince him. And in that convincing, I was a part of it.
Okay. Okay. So lastly, do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't have any questions for you. But how will I come to know if I got selected?
Our team will reach out to you. If that's the case, our team will reach out to you with a call.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let me quickly ask you, friends, how was this role play? Was it good or not good? Please type in the chat box. Was it good or not good? Gulzar is saying overexcited. Not good. Okay. So people are saying good. I think they were very polite. It was actually not good. Do you feel I overdid it? Very good, Shaina. I purposely overdid it. Yes, Yasmin. It was not good. I look desperate. Yes, Rosina, I look desperate. This is my best company. I want to work for this company. Many pauses. Yes. Long answers. Sharifuddin, high five. Sir, long answers. Absolutely lengthy answers. Irrelevant answers. Too much excitement. Tell me about you. I said anything and everything that came to my mind. It was a very long, confusing answer for the person. Going around the bush. Very good, Karishma. Not a good listener. Absolutely. That was not a good way. Overhand gestures. Absolutely. That was not a good way of taking an interview. Good observation. Let me quickly sum it up. Lengthy answers. Irrelevant answers. Overexcited. I look desperate. It was not professional. Absolutely. I was anxious. Absolutely, Zora. Great. Superb, superb, superb. Okay. Let us go to round 2. Okay. Let us go to round 2. Amila, let's start round 2.
Yes. So, hello, Nasru. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, great. So, should we begin?
Sure.
Okay. So, to start off, could you please tell me something about yourself?
Okay. Myself, Nasru Panjwani.
Okay.
I have completed Masters in HR last year. And I like HR job. I am open for recruitment.
Okay. Okay.
I have. Okay.
And is there anything else that you would like to add?
No.
Okay. So I was going through your resume and I noticed that you mentioned problem solving as one of your core strengths. Can you give me an example of that?
So during my project, I used to help many people in the project.
Okay.
So I used to enjoy solving their problems.
Okay. Is there anything specific that you want to share with us?
Yes, one of my friend, I helped him in his project, and he was not able to create the project properly, and I solved his problem.
Okay, good. Also, lastly, do you have any questions for me?
No.
No? Okay. Thank you.
Okay. How was this interview? Too low, nervous, not professional answers, boring, not good. Okay. Okay. You were forced to attend, worse. Okay. Sulking, very bad, not confident, less interactive, seem candid, not okay. Yeah. So what I was trying to do, friends, was there were two extremes. One extreme is overexcited, and other extreme is one line answer. Tell me about yourself. One line. Can you give an example of problem solving? One line. These are the two extremes. And we see these extremes again and again, again and again, again and again. So none of these will help us. A good will be somewhere in the middle. Okay, a good interview will somewhere in the middle, not overexcited and not giving one-line answers, not giving long answers and not keeping it too short, somewhere in the middle and somewhere very relevant. Yeah, Anisha, but especially when the interviewer is asking me a specific example, I need to give some proper background. I cannot give it in one line. That is what we are trying to say. Yeah, they expect more. Absolutely, Zen. So before we go ahead with the third round, let me share with you something. Let me share the next hack, which can be very helpful in behavioral questions. So this hack is called STAR technique. And this is a very good technique to handle behavioral questions. Now, what are behavioral questions? Can you give me an example of how you solved a problem? Can you give an example of how you collaborated? Can you give an example of how you managed a particular problem? So anytime they ask you an example, let's say in your resume, you have written leadership skills. Can you give an example? Where did you show how, when and how did you display leadership skills? These are behavioral questions. They are asking you for an example of a particular behavior. Now, what happens is, the way you saw in the first interview, I gave long story. And in the second interview, I said it in one line. None of them will work. And many times what happens is, when we try to answer this, even for experienced candidates, we give a long story or an unrelated story. How to give that story in 30 seconds or 1 minute is the STAR format. The STAR format says, start with a situation. What was the situation or task? Describe the situation. 6 months ago, when I was working in the team, the project was behind schedule. Then you say action. What action you take? Me and our team had a war room meeting where we prioritized where we are lagging behind. We identified 2 actions which will result in not lagging behind. And within the next 2 weeks, the part which was not getting covered, we were able to cover it and we came back on track. So that is a result part. Okay. So describe situation, describe action, and describe result. That's all. You need not give the full story of what happened, what was the situation, nothing. And people fall into this trap. They try to give a full story, explain too much, and you are lost. Anytime you have a behavioral question, give me an example. You can follow these 3 steps. Describe the situation or task, describe the action that you took, and describe the result you got. That's all. And that is what they're looking for. What action you took, what result you got. Okay, so let us go to the final round of interview.
Hello,
Okay.
Nasrul, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Great. So could you tell me something about yourself?
First of all, thank you for inviting me for this conversation. I'm happy to connect with you today. You already know my name. I'm Nasru Panjwani. I have graduated from Narsi Monji, and I am a fresher. I have completed my MBA in HR.
Okay.
I enjoy interacting with people. I enjoy reading books which are based on psychology, which are based on human development. And HR is one field where I would like to explore and grow my career.
Okay. Great, sounds good. So in your resume, you've mentioned that problem solving is one of your core strengths. Can you give me an example of that?
Sure. So 6 months ago, we were handling a college fest. And what happened was, at the very last moment, the sponsor was not happy the way we were doing marketing.
Okay.
It was a major issue for us. And what we did is we created a core committee of 3 people who were very good in liaising with the sponsor. We requested them to handle that core committee, and I was a part of it.
Okay.
We had a meeting with the sponsor and we asked what are the expectations that were not met. We conveyed those expectations with our dean, and we tried to find a common ground. Luckily, the next day after 2 meetings, we were able to find a common ground, and sponsor was happy with the actions that we took.
Very well, very well. So lastly, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, Amina, I have one question for you.
Yes.
Can you like I said, I'm very much interested in growing my career as an HR.
Right.
And I'm open to work in different fields in HR, as the job description says, but I'm particularly interested in training.
Okay.
Will they also have some part of training?
Yes, of course, of course. So we have a culture that promotes growth, and we are very open to people switching between, the same division or between divisions as well. So you will definitely have an opportunity to collaborate in the training division as well, with the training division as well.
Correct. Okay. Thank you, Amina.
Okay.
All right. So this was a very short version. This was how you can appear more balanced. How was this interview? Any feedback for me and Amina? What was your learning there? What did you see out of those 3 interviews? Yeah. Okay. To the point, interactive and good. Thank you, Gulzar. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To the point. Yes, that is what is important. Specific answers. Very good, Junaid. Calm and composed, Narmeen. Yes, you don't have to look desperate. You have to be calm, composed, understand the question well, give realistic answers, look confident, not overconfident, not overexcited, short but detailed. Yes, that's the idea. Thank you, Ronak. Relevant answers. Professional. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So this was just a quick example. And thank you, Amina, for partnering me. High five, Amina. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
So as you saw, friends, interview is only a conversation. And the good thing is, nowadays, gone are the days that you saw on television or in some movies. Interview is a conversation, and treat it as a conversation. Appear calm, appear confident, and take it as a conversation. Take it as if there is a question, they're trying to get to know you, and just you are answering. That's all. And I like the way you observed that I was trying to give short, not very short answers, but specific answers, relevant answers, but not going too much in detail. So I can see some questions on the chat window. If the interviewer is younger than you, should you address him by his name? What's the best way to address him during the conversation? Karishma, regardless of the age, you can address the interviewer by the name, depending on the culture of the organization. These days, there are many organizations that actually promote calling by the first name regardless of the age. But you can start with sir, and ma'am. But if they will insist, don't worry, call me by my name, then you can call them by their name. So it doesn't matter about the age. It matters about the culture in that organization. But there are some companies where there's still a sir and ma'am culture, then go with that. So start with sir and ma'am. Immediately they may say that you can call me by my name, and then you can call them by their name, regardless of their age or designation. If I am from a hacking field, as well as a student, which color of resume I should use? Okay, so I would still feel it is best to keep your resume professional, regardless from your so even though you are from a hacking field, need not use those dark colors. You can still keep it professional. That is what my suggestion is. That is the best. One more question on the Q&A is, I have 10 years of experience in operations and HR in various companies with no certification. How should I show all the experience in one page? Okay. So one page is just a suggestion. If you feel one page is not enough, you can go to 2 pages as well, but don't go to 3 or 4 pages. That is what will help you. I hope that answers your question. It is not rule that it should be in 1 page. You can go to 2nd page as well, but not more than 2nd page if possible. The first question which came was how to avoid making an interview conversation casual. I hope I was able to give a demonstration just now. How not to make interview conversation casual. The first interview that I did was very casual. The second I did was not at all good. The third one was, it was professional, yet it was friendly, it was relevant. So that's the example that I wanted to give you. Okay, thank you. Okay, now let's move ahead. Yeah, we are running short of time. There is some teaching to be done. So let me do a quick recap. Tell me about yourself. I already shared. Keep this answer in 30 seconds to 1 minute, not 4 or 5 minutes. Any good answer is 30 seconds to 1 minute. Tell us about if you're experienced, tell us where are you working now. Start with where you are now. I am so-and-so, I'm working in so-and-so organization at so-and-so designation. These are my core strengths and these are my hobbies. Why did you leave your last job? Absolutely, Adil. You can use an elevator pitch. You can also you can use an elevator pitch, but 30 seconds to 1 minute. So not more than that. Why did you leave your last job? Yeah. So yeah, Mumtaz, elevator pitch is a crisp pitch which tells about yourself in 30 seconds to 1 minute. And the reason it is called elevator pitch is, if you have to talk somebody in an elevator, it takes 30 seconds, right? Before you lose that person. That's why it is called elevator pitch. So basically any pitch which requires 30 seconds to 1 minute. Yeah. Second, why did you leave your last job? You have to be genuine, but you don't have to be negative. You could say that I was looking for the right opportunity and I feel that this company is offering me that opportunity. So rather than focusing on all the details, just move to this company. I was looking for a specific opportunity and your company is offering it, which I was not getting in my previous organization. That's all. No need to go into detail and tell about the negative experience. Rehmat, even if you had a negative experience, don't talk about it. It is not good. Focus more on what you are looking for. Focus more on the future, not too much on the past. What are your greatest strengths? Highlight 1 or 2 strengths. Don't say 5 strengths. And whatever answer you give, they will ask for an example. So keep an example ready. You may say that I have leadership skills and they will say, okay, can you give an example of leadership skills? If you do not have, you're gone. Every answer you give, friends, will have a follow-up question on that with example. What is your greatest weakness? Somebody asked me in the chat how to answer this. What is your greatest weakness? Pick any one which is genuine. However, don't just say my greatest weakness is procrastination and stop over there. Say my greatest weakness is procrastination and I'm learning to improve it. Now I'm more focused. I am prioritizing my task. Don't just say this is my greatest weakness. They want to see whether you are improving yourself. But be honest and you should. Okay. Other question like, tell me a challenge you faced and how you overcome it. These are the most common questions that you get, especially behavioral questions. And the way I said, use STAR method. This was the situation, this was the task, this was the action. Shahina is asking, will they judge us based on our weakness? No, Shahina, they will not judge you. Every human has a weakness, but they want to know what you are doing about it. Are you overcoming your weakness? Are you taking some action to overcome it? That is what they want to know. Can we say about our phobia? Adil, better not to talk about too personal details. Keep it only professional, which is required about the job. So what is your weakness? Answer could be, I'm trying to improve on time management. This is how I'm trying to improve. I'm improving my communication skills. This is how I'm trying to improve. I'm improving on my project management skills. This is how I'm trying to improve. Do not share personal question, personal. No, Shahana. Don't get too personal. This is not an emotional conversation. It's a very, very formal conversation. So avoid phobia, anger, avoid, I'm an emotional person, I'm a sensitive person. No. That is a red flag. Very big red flag. Okay. Family info required, Asma? Probably not, Asma. There was a time when family people used to say, okay, I have one sibling, not required now. But if they ask for it, then you can share it. Sure, Zain, you can do that. So these are some examples, behavioral questions, how you work under pressure, so on and so forth. Every behavioral question you can use star, situation, task, action, result. Why are you the best candidate for the position? You match your skills with the JD. And you all already know, do you have any questions for me? I already answered that. Ask questions about the job. That is what will help you. Okay, so I know we are at running a little over time because there were so many questions and I wanted to answer them. Now, very quick tips. And the first tip I want to share with you, friends, is you should have a target company in your mind, especially experienced candidates. Keep a target company that, yes, I want to work for these three, four companies. And once you do that, do a little bit research on that. Who are the hiring managers? And connect with the hiring managers on LinkedIn. In the next few minutes, I will show how to do that, how you can use the power of LinkedIn in short. You can approach their hiring managers. You can understand their core value of their organization. If you do not keep a target company in your mind, job search becomes very difficult. So keep a target company in your mind, understand that company very well. What are the openings over there, and connect with their hiring managers on social media, especially LinkedIn. These are some other tips. Now, we all know about these websites, Naukri, LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, Shine. These are some of the job portals. In case you have not come across, these are some job portals which can be very, very helpful. But LinkedIn is emerging as a big platform to find your dream job, or to find your first job, or you find your next best opportunity. More than Naukri, LinkedIn is the place to be. These are some other portals. Job Sarkari is for government jobs. Especially, friends, if you are a fresher, have you heard of Internshala? This is a great place to find your first internship, paid internship also. So if you are a fresher, if you're not getting a full-time job, and if you're open for internship where you may not get a lot of money, but you'll get good experience, this can be very, very helpful. Internshala can land you to your next job. You can see Freshers World is one more such place. But I'll request all the students who are there today, please create a LinkedIn profile and please go to Internshala. These two are really good places. They are really, really great apps, and they are really, really great portals to, especially for students. So here comes the secret code, which is 9. This is the third secret code. Let's take a moment to note it. I have one final hack before we wrap up. And that final hack is how to use LinkedIn. We will have a detailed LinkedIn session on 26th, but today I want to give this hack. So are you ready for the LinkedIn hack? Type LH in the chat box. Before we wrap up, are you ready for a LinkedIn hack? How to use the power of LinkedIn? Type LH in the chat box. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So we look forward to meeting you on 26th also, where we'll share about LinkedIn in detail, how to make your profile, how to select your image, how to put your cover image. So this is my LinkedIn profile. I'm just quickly sharing it with you. We will show everything. So don't miss it next time on 26th. But today I want to give you a specific hack. Okay, let's say you are, so like I said a few minutes ago, you should have a target company in mind. And let's say your target company is Amazon. So go to LinkedIn. This is a LinkedIn page. Go to search and say Amazon. So let's say your target company is Amazon. I'm just taking an example. Okay, it could be any company. Let's say your target company is Amazon. Okay, now LinkedIn is a, it will align you where you stay. So since I'm in Hyderabad, that's why they are showing me people from Hyderabad who are in Amazon. And can you see the first people they are showing me are HR people, because I'm in HR. If you are in sales, they will show you sales people. If you are in data science, they will show you people in data science. If you are a software professional, they will show you software professionals. That's the beauty of LinkedIn. Now, not stopping here, okay? Now, how do you find the right people in Amazon so you can connect? So you put Amazon, you go to filters, okay? And within Amazon, okay, you want people from HR community. And you say, show results. All right, so these are the people who are from Amazon, can you see? And who are in human resources. Okay, so, okay, this person is in human, oh, she is a recruiter in Amazon. Let me go and check, what is she recruiting about? Okay, this person is a recruiting leader. Okay, this is a talent. Okay. Now, your dream job is Amazon. Connect with the recruiters from that organization. What will happen is, if you form a connection with them, they will notice your profile. And keep updating your LinkedIn. Don't just keep your LinkedIn inactive. Trying to keep posting something about your role. Let's say you are into sales. Keep posting about something about sales. Keep posting about your career journey. If you completed a course, post about it. And if you are connected with those people, you will get noticed by them. And you will also get, there is a place where in LinkedIn where they also show which jobs are available. If these people are already in your connection list, it will be easy for you to connect with them, and you will be noticed. Probably they will contact you. And it happens, they actually source nowadays more than Naukri. Recruiters source their next candidates on LinkedIn. And if you are there on their list, you will be the first person to get noticed. Okay, so this is the tip. Keep dream companies in your mind. Don't go vague. Keep specific companies in your mind. Connect with people in that organization from HR and from that field. So if you're in software, connect with software professionals from that organization. And that is how you will get your foot in the door. And when the right opportunity comes, you will be visible by them. You will be noticed by them. Yes, Asma, on 26th, we will also show how to create a LinkedIn account. Yes, Asma. Not only how to create a LinkedIn account, how to curate your page, what to write, what kind of image to put, everything we will show on 26th about LinkedIn. And also how, I just showed in 5 minutes the power of LinkedIn. We will go much more in detail, how to use the power of LinkedIn to create your brand and also search for jobs. Okay, so yeah, a couple of quick questions. Oh, just give me one moment. What can we post as fresher? Nazma is saying, what can we post as fresher? Is your question regarding LinkedIn? Okay, so I think it is regarding LinkedIn. So what can you post? You can post about your academic qualification. You can post about any online courses that you have done. You can post about any internship or voluntary service that you have done. And you can keep posting about your field. So LinkedIn is a social media like Facebook, but it is a professional social media. So I keep posting about training. I keep posting about people development. I keep posting about, and I keep connecting with people who are in the field. So keep posting about your field, and that is how the recruiters will notice you. I hope that answers your question. Karishma is asking, does our weakness get aligned vis-a-vis skill requirement? Example, poor time management or decision making will reflect badly for a managerial job. Karishma, you should be careful over there. honesty is good, but blind honesty is not good. So yes, if you are applying for a managerial job, and if you say that my weakness is I'm very poor in decision making, so being over honest may not help you, because your job in an interview is to show your skills match with the job, does not match. So probably pick a weakness which don't affect your job so much. It's a thin line. I understand where you're coming from. It's a thin line between being authentic and over authentic, which may harm you. Like, you don't have to be emotional in an interview. You don't have to tell about your personal things. Similarly, you have to play a little practically there. I hope, Karishma, that helps you. Adil is saying, can you share your LinkedIn link of LinkedIn? Adil, you can just type Nasru Panjwani and you can send me a connection request. I'll be happy to get connected. Absolutely, Abdul. LinkedIn is to impress employers and recruiters. Okay, one more question which is coming up by FFP. Is it a good idea to stick with one company? Okay, sir, FFP. Okay. Now this is a very this is a very important question. How long should we stay with one company? This question can have two perspectives. First is, are you getting growth in that company? If you are not getting growth in that company, even for 5, 7, 10 years, you have to ask yourself, is the company not giving opportunity, or I am not grabbing that opportunity? There could be two ways, right? There are many times it happens that company may have an opportunity, but I am not grabbing it, or I am not developing myself. So even if you change a job, still the same story will happen over there. But you should definitely look for opportunities outside if you feel you are doing everything and you are not getting growth opportunity. We work in a job not only for salary, we work in a job or on a corporate to get growth. If you are not getting growth in an organization, even though you are capable, you are developing yourself, then you should certainly look for another role. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, Rahmat is asking, is it possible for you to guide? Absolutely, Rahmat. I'll be happy to do that. Okay, one more question. I have completed 10 years with 3 promotions, but I have lost the aggression which I had 10 years back. Okay, this is a follow-up question by FFP. I have completed 10 years with, awesome. If you have, so this person is saying, I have completed 10 years with 3 promotions, but I have lost the aggression. Awesome, FFP, I understand. So you are getting, so this also happens, good point. You know, when we stay in the same company, we tend to get comfortable in that company. If you are willing to take that risk to get out of your comfort zone, probably a new organization can help you. But it can be challenging if you're okay to take that risk, and I think you should take it. Staying in a comfort zone is very dangerous, very, very dangerous. Maybe for some, you know, sometimes it is okay to be in a comfort zone, but not for long term. Okay, one question which is coming, it's I think an EPB question. Will EPB organize a job fair as well in upcoming session of the program? So probably.
Yes, we are getting a lot of these questions. We said that we will have recruitment e-drive. So stay tuned. We have a lot of, we are doing a lot of tie-ups with a lot of companies. Shortly, we'll circulate a job form wherein you can upload your CVs. Probably by end of this month when we have another session. So the key thing is you have to attend these sessions for actually getting prepared for that e-drive. And once you have that, we will surely share it with these companies that we are tying up with. And inshallah, if it matches, we will definitely support you to get a job.
I think I have one final question, and I think it's a good time to wrap up. Mumtaz is asking, I recently completed an internship in which I was initially told I will have to certain amount of work, but later it kept on piling, and even though it has been completed, my boss still asked me to do some work or other, which I'm avoiding. What to do in that situation? Okay, Mumtaz, this happens a lot, not only in internship, but it could happen in a regular job also. Mumtaz, it is okay to say no. There is no harm in doing that, but you can say no politely and tell that this is the challenge you are facing. If it is taking additional working hours, you can say that it is hampering your health, it is hampering your, it is giving you, it is taking a lot of time, it is hampering your family situation, or so you can always say no, and you can say no politely. Okay, but I want to ask you, see, in internship is a good phase to learn. It is not about work. If that task is helping you learn something which will help you in future, probably you can do it. But if you feel this is getting too much, it is okay to say no. Don't worry about it, but say no politely. Don't say no after you get, sometimes it happens, we don't say no, and then we get frustrated, and then we say no in a frustrated way or in a little anxious way, which may not be the best thing. But ask yourself, will this work help you in future? Probably yes. That is what internship is about, to gain experience and knowledge. But if you feel this work that is getting allotted to you will not help you, too much work is getting allotted to you, you're not able to handle it, openly tell your boss, I'm not able to handle so much work, it is affecting my health, my time, I'm sorry about this. That's all. I hope that helps you. Okay, I think I've tried my best to answer all the questions. I'm sorry if I missed some question. Okay, somebody's asking for last secret code. Yes, here is your last secret code. Here you go. Okay, so this was the last hack, and this is the last secret code, number 1. Okay, so for all the 4 secret codes revealed, thank you so much, everybody. I'm sorry if I took additional time, and I was just trying my best to answer all the questions. Thank you so much for staying right till the end. Thank you, everybody. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Have a fantastic Sunday and all the best. And see you on 26th. Shalina Baima, over to you.
Thank you so much, Nasru Bhai. As always, this was a power-packed session. You kept us all engaged for 2 hours, not a minute break that anybody could have taken over here. So thank you so much for doing it every time for us. So guys, all the thank yous, all the feedback that you need to give, along with your secret codes, please put it on the feedback form. We are posting it on the chat here. We'll be also posting it on the 2-3 WhatsApp groups that we have created for this series. For those who want to attend the future sessions, which is predominantly also the future session from Nasru Bhai coming up on September 26th, ensure that you don't leave this WhatsApp group. Anybody who's registered will always get the link. So on that note, once again, thank you so much, Nasru Bhai. Don't forget to put your best comments in the feedback form or any suggestions. You can put the secret code in the last question along with your suggestions that you have for this program. Thank you so much for staying with us, and we wish you a very lovely Sunday afternoon and evening ahead. Thanks a lot. We will keep this on for a minute so that people can take the link over here. Alternatively, we are also posting the feedback form link on the WhatsApp groups that you would be a part of. In case anybody is not part of it, please send your WhatsApp number to the panelist. We'll quickly add you to that group. So you can also do that now. Once again, Nasru Bhai, thank you so much. I know you had a completely busy schedule, and we look forward to having you on September 26th.
Thank you. Thank you, Shalina Baima. It is always a pleasure to connect with our community, our Jamaat, and everybody, especially students, professionals, and everybody here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Yes, look forward to connecting again on 26th. Thank you, Yali Madad. Have a great Sunday.